What are the best fat burning foods for weight loss? That's probably something you'd love to know. So stay tuned and I'll let you know in just 1 second. So it's no secret to know that a lot of people tend to lose weight not only by not eating right food, but they can actually eat the wrong food as well. I'm sure we all know someone out there that can eat Macca's or ice cream or whatever your local fast food restaurant is, and they somehow still lose weight. I know I'm not someone like that. If I look at a pizza, I get fat, so I have to be careful of what I eat. So that would mean you need to be making the right food choices and making sure you're eating the right stuff that's really going to help with your fat loss journey. So here are going to be some popular fat burning foods that I like to incorporate into my meal. Gets me nice and lean and ripped. One of the biggest things that I think a lot of people struggle with is going to be the portion size. You need to make sure that portion size is going to be about the size of your fist, because that's where a lot of people get stuck and they get lost within how much do I have, so they eat till they're full. One of the biggest misconceptions is eating until you're full. You want to cut back just before that. So let's say you eat a meal at 100%, you're fully bloated. You want to stop at about 80, 85, just so there's enough left in the tank. So for the next meal, you get hungry, and that's when you want to eat because you're hungry to eat. You're not eating because you're forcing it. So make sure the portion sizes are correct. You want to eliminate all the junk food. It's going to be something that you need to get rid of and cut it out straight away, as it's something that's going to stop you from getting the results that you're actually looking for. Makes sense, right? So make sure you eat real food, so where it comes down to healthy sources of proteins, fats and carbs, and make sure you have correct portion sizes at each meal and you're not eating too much of that, because when you overeat it, obviously your body's going to store it as fat and you're not actually going to lose any weight. So with carbs, for example, you want to eat carbs that are going to be for a low glycemic index. So that'll mean things that don't spike insulin, because that's what's going to make you gain fat. Obviously everyone has different areas and things, and their body reacts differently, but for most of us, we need to eat low glycemic index carbs, which are going to be sweet potatoes, yams, brown rice, lentils, beans, quinoa, legumes. So yeah, pretty much any carb like that that's not going to spike your insulin, A-okay. I mean, look, even fruit's okay too, but you just want to make sure you're having the right portion sizes. Don't get me wrong, little bits and pieces are going to be fine here and there. It doesn't really matter too much. It's just, obviously, portion sizes is really what's going to give you that body and give you that physique that you're really looking for. So have a little bit of fruit, mix it up, have it here and there. Don't overdo it. Overdoing it's then going to spike your insulin, because fruit does have fructose, which is obviously going to be a sugar, and when that sugar hits your body, insulin goes up, and that's what's going to start storing that fat, and those hormones start going crazy. Next up, what you want to do is you want to make sure you're having higher protein in your diet. When you're implementing a higher protein diet, you require more calories to burn through that protein as it's digesting. So implementing protein at each meal is going to be a good choice, because you'll actually burn more calories by the more protein you eat. Now that doesn't mean go crazy and have a whole plate full of protein. You don't need heaps of it, but it's going to be something where once you've implemented it, it will help, because calories are being burnt when it's digesting and going through the system. Protein's good because it fills you up. When you eat it, you feel full. Even if it's just for that reason alone, implement some protein. So some good sources of protein are really going to be your leaner cuts. So things like your lean white fish, chicken breast, turkey breast, pork, that's going to be pretty lean as well. Eggs are definitely one, and also egg whites. They're really good. Can't forget number 3, which is probably one of the most important, as this is where we get our most energy from, comes from fat. So you want to implement some really good and healthy fats. So that's things like your salmon, avocado, or olive oil, the yolk within the egg. You can also implement other oils such as coconut oil, fantastic for cooking and really helping that fat burning. Don't have too much of it though, because it can be quite calorie dense. So you'll have only a little bit, but you have that every meal, it's a lot of fat added to your diet. On top of that, natural homemade nut butters, they're fantastic. Now obviously all of this does depend on you and your body type. So me, for example, I can't have too much fat, I can't have too much carbs, and I can't have too much protein. My body just blows out straight away. It's something that I have to be really cautious with, but now that I know what I can and can't eat, now I can tailor my daily life around what I do and don't have. So it's all about finding a balance. Everyone's different. We can all take certain amounts. It's not something where I can just be like, well, here's the golden ticket, here you go, take it. And all of a sudden you know the ins and outs of your body. It does take time, it does take experience, but once you know, you don't need to do it again, because you've done 6 or 12 months of experimenting, and now you know what's going to work for your body for the rest of your life. So it could be worth it. So everyone is different, guys, but I do hope this video has helped. If it has, hit that like button for me and drop any questions you might have in the comment section. I'm going through them every day just to see if I can help out in any way and answer any questions. If you like this video, then smash the subscribe button for me, because we're gonna have heaps more videos like this coming out. Don't forget, guys, you are unique. There's no one else out there in the world like you. Be courageous, be fearless, and don't be afraid to be yourself. Fasted cardio, does it work? Well, let me tell you. Fasted cardio, does it actually work? Is it real? Is it something that's just a myth and made up? Or does it actually help you burn fat? Stay tuned and I'll show you in a sec. Fasted cardio is one of those things that a lot of people seem to get confused with and they get stuck on. They don't know the answer because there's not really 100% yes answer. See, the thing is that because everyone is different, our bodies react in a different way. So for me, for example, when I do fasted cardio, I get jacked and I get shredded real quick. Now that's because my body type is better for fasted cardio. So the reason that I can't necessarily say yes to fasted cardio for you is because what I do and what you do may not work, but that doesn't say that you shouldn't try it. The best way to know if something's going to work is you get in the trenches, you try it out, and you see if it works or not. See, the best part is that when you're doing fasted cardio, you're going to know how you feel, whether you're feeling dizzy, whether you're feeling hungry or lethargic or whatever it may be. So you need to get in there, you need to try it out and see how it works. Now, studies do show that doing fasted cardio, because you'll be in a depleted state, means that your body's actually going to go to the resources like fat, for example, to burn for energy. So think about this, the body is actually pretty smart when you break it down. So you've got your body and you've got some fat. So what will happen is your body will say, hey fat, I've got you for when I need you. Alright, cool. So let's say you haven't eaten since 9 or 10 o'clock at night, right, before bed. Yes, carbs after 6. So you haven't eaten since 9 or 10 o'clock. Now you wake up and you do fasted cardio. Now when I say fasted cardio, I'm not referring to doing crazy sprints and doing some crazy intense interval training. That has a purpose, but for what I'm talking about at the moment is low intense steady state, so LISS. That's going to be my preferred and is my preferred way of doing cardio. So you haven't eaten since say 9 or 10 o'clock, you've got fat in your body. What is your body going to do right now? It's going to say to yourself, it's going to say to your body, it's going to be like, hey, you've got more energy and I'm going to use you when I need you rather than using anything else. So what will happen is you're doing your cardio in the morning, you've fasted for 10 to 12 hours depending on what time you get up, and your body's then going to resort back to the source that is the most energy dense, which will be your fat cells. Once that's broken down, your fat then gets transferred, gets put into the liver, it gets metabolized. Once it's metabolized, you start burning fat. So think about this, right? You've gotten up, you've done your cardio in the morning, you're doing a cut, so your calories are lower. You're not eating as much, so you're trying to get into a fat burning state. So you've done your cardio, you're eating throughout the day. Now when it gets to gym, you're making sure that you're lifting heavy. Your movements and your weights are heavy as f***. You're making sure that when you lift, you're putting enough pressure on your muscle and you're breaking the muscle down to make sure that, okay, if I don't lift heavy, but I do cardio and I don't eat a lot, what's my body going to do? It's going to eat everything it can to survive. So if you do cardio in the morning, it eats out your fat cells. It eats out all of the stored energy. Now throughout the day, you're only eating enough to hit your macros that you need to. Then when it gets to gym, now you're pushing your body past that point where it says, well, I've only got a level. I fall under and I eat muscle because it's super nutrient dense. Or I push that muscle up, so all I have to do is eat fat, or all I can do is eat fat because that's the only other source of energy I have left. You haven't had carbs, or you've had very minimal. The only two sources are fat and muscle. If you're pushing your muscle to the top and squeezing it as hard as you can with heavy weight, then your muscle isn't going anywhere because your body needs that to keep pushing that weight that you're forcing it to do. So think about that sort of stuff before you go into your training session. Low intense steady state cardio is the best way to lose fat. I'm saying this from experience. I was able to take myself from about 13% body fat down to about, I think it was about 3% roughly. I did that in a few months and it is such a better way to lose fat. That's why I enjoy doing cardio in the morning. So you need to find what works for you. You need to find something that's going to make you want to do it. There's nothing worse than waking up, rolling out of bed, I don't want to do it today. You'll really want to find something that's going to help you in getting the goals that you're trying to get. Low, intense, steady state cardio, 100% for me it's a yes. Everyone's different. You need to find what works for you. Most of you will be able to do what I just mentioned and you'll be fine. You'll lose fat, you'll put on muscle, whatever your goals are. I'd love to hear what you have to say, so drop some comments down below. I'll interact with you as much as I can. And if this video helped you out and you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up button for me and make sure you smash that subscribe button. That way you can stay up to date with anything else that I come out with. Don't forget, you are unique. You're the only version of you and there is no one else out there like you. So don't be afraid to be courageous, don't be scared, go out there, take risks, do things you normally wouldn't do, and until next time, stay shredded, bros. 5 foods you should never eat if you want to lose belly fat. In no way am I about to say that you can never have these foods ever again. It's all based on moderation and only having these maybe once a fortnight. If you're really wanting to get and meet your fat loss goals and your body goals, then you really need to make sure that this type of food is not in your diet. So let's go. Okay, tip number 1 is high processed foods. Now this is going to be things like your salamis, sausage rolls, hams, foods that are highly processed like that because it's not allowing the body to digest the food the way that it needs to be digested. It also contains some pretty cheap fat that the body doesn't know what to do with. It's not something that you're feeding it normally anyway, so it doesn't know what to do. Number 2 is deep fried foods. You want to make sure you're not consuming heaps of deep fried foods. That means things like, you know, fish and chips or even Mars bars. We do that in Australia, deep fried Mars bars. So when the food is deep fried, it actually goes into the process of absorbing the food. So then this means that that food that you put in before it was deep fried has now almost doubled or tripled based on the oil that you're actually using. So it contains more calories, which can cause high cholesterol and high blood pressure, which then can amount to a few different heart problems, and that's the last thing you want. Number 3, sugary drinks. When we drink sugary drinks, our insulin levels are spiked for about 20 minutes. And what that does is it puts a body into a state of confusion with all this insulin pumping around, the body's not being able to use that energy. So what does it do? It stores it for fat for later. Number 4 is sugary desserts. Pretty much the same as the sugary drinks. You'll find that what will happen is the insulin spike goes all the way up and before you know it, that's getting stored back into your fat cells, whether it's your lower belly, your lower back, anything like that. The body's really going to store that fat for later. The thing with fat cells is they're kind of like a black hole. Fat cells almost don't have a limit, so you can just keep feeding fat into it, which is why we see a lot of really large people out there, because the fat cells don't have a border for them to stop. So they just keep absorbing, absorbing and growing and growing and growing to the point where other issues start to arise like heart and cholesterol and blood pressure and things like that. And number 5 is cereal. Cereal tastes great, don't get me wrong, but there's a reason why it tastes great. Because it's full of sugar. It's full of simple carbohydrates that get digested super quickly, cause that insulin spike, and then that gets stored as fat. And when do we usually have cereal? First thing in the morning. And that's the worst time that you want to have an insulin spike, because that's why you get a big hit of energy, then you go to work, wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, and then you usually have a crash, and then you need another pick-me-up. So just be careful with that. Opt out for cereal for something else when it comes to stabilizing foods that aren't going to spike your insulin levels, like nuts and meats and so on. Now, before you go crazy, in no way do I want you to think that I'm saying you can never have these foods ever again. Don't get me wrong, I love my salted caramel covered ice cream, peanut butter fudge food. I can't get enough of it, I love it. But I have it in moderation, and for me, moderation is once a fortnight, because I know that I can work hard for 2 weeks and create that caloric deficit to then have that meal that I like. And it's not something that's going to be excessive. It's only going to be a little amount. It's not going to be like a tiny mouthful, but it's going to be enough that it meets that feeling that I need to have that I'm missing out on. So in no way am I saying cut it out of your life forever, but if you are looking to optimize your body and your physique and get that body and the six-pack you really want, then you need to make some sacrifices, and that's where you're going to start. So for me, for example, when I was about 13-14% body fat, I had to cut out all of that for me to get down to about 5 to 6% roughly. If you have any questions, then just drop them in the comments section. I'd love to hear from you guys and what you might want to see next. If this video helped you out, hit that like button and smash the subscribe in the face. That way you can stay up to date with any other videos I come out with, and hopefully I can create some videos for you guys that you want to see. So don't forget, you are unique. There is no one else in this world like you. Be yourself, be courageous, and don't be scared to do things that other people aren't doing. Until next, if you're like me, you've probably always wanted to lose that lower belly fat, really tighten up that lower part of your stomach. But have you ever said to yourself, it's too hard, I can't do it, it's almost impossible? Well, stay tuned, because I'm going to show you in just how a few short months I took myself from 13% body fat down to about 3% body fat. I'm going to give you my best tips on how you can do it too, so stay tuned. The first thing you need to start with is your nutrition. You need to start with making sure that everything you do has a proper plan and is in place to actually give you the success you need when it comes to losing weight and showing your abs off. Because obviously your abs are under there, everyone has them. It's just you have to lose that belly fat first so that you can actually see them. So first thing to do, proper nutrition. No matter what anyone says, you need to have good nutrition. So that means having your proper proteins, your fats, your carbs. The next thing you want to do is you really want to be able to enjoy the process. You really want to have something where you enjoy cooking, you enjoy the lifestyle. You don't want it to be a hassle. You want to wake up and you want to enjoy doing what you're doing. So whether that be through music, having it play in the background, whether it be through movies or TV shows or something that takes your mind off it, you want to do that while you're doing any cooking or any preparation. Tip number 2, I love this one, this is one of my favorites. I haven't actually seen many other people do it. Using a sandwich press to cook my meat. I know it sounds weird, but yeah, it's a sandwich press. It's something that I found super simple. Once you've got your meat ready, throw it in the sandwich press, throw a bit of flavoring on top, close the lid down, and she cooks away. It really gives you that charcoal taste, if you like that. Better taste, better flavor, I think personally. And it doesn't give you as much cleanup time. You don't have to worry about, scrubbing down your fry pan and things like that. So try that out yourself. Let me know below how it goes. So from there, another thing to do and to make sure you do is a lot of water. I know a lot of people say, drink your 8 to 10 glasses of water. I mean, you're coming up to a meal, have a couple of glasses. In the meal, have a couple of glasses. After the meal, have a couple of glasses. It's something where you want to be able to take your thirst and anything that you feel you need away from soft drink and everything into water, because it's obviously healthier. We all know that. Tip number 4, I think we're up to 4, is go through the house, clean out the pantries, clean out the cupboards, get rid of all the junk food, get rid of everything you know that you shouldn't eat because it's something that you shouldn't be eating. Me personally, if you're anything like me, and I probably are, that's why you're watching this, when I get bored, I eat. So when I get really bored, I eat a lot. It's an easy way and a bad way that's actually going to stack on those pounds. It's going to do it really quickly too. I like to keep a bag of carrots lying around. Carrots give me an ability to eat something. I just like chewing on stuff, so that makes it really easy for me personally. Find something for yourself that really works, whether it's celery or carrots or something like that. Find a nice vegetable that you can eat, mix it up, change it up, have fun with it. You don't want it to be in a position where all you're doing is this gym stuff. You're not actually enjoying what you're doing. So make sure you enjoy it, make sure you enjoy the experience. Something I wish someone had told me when I first started was, Chris, you can do it. You're not different to anyone else. Yes, your body may change differently and it might take longer, it might take quicker, but you can do it. It takes time. Each week you will see results, not every day, but each week you will slowly start to see your body fat levels drop down and your abs start to really show. So don't rush the process. It does take time. It's something that will happen. You just have to be dedicated towards it. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess you have to ask yourself a question. Would you rather look down and see chiseled abs from the gods, or would you rather see mountains of fat? Now that's something that obviously you can answer yourself. That's why you are here. Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so nutrition's obviously one, and that is a major component. Absolutely, it's the main component. Although you need to be also doing some form of physical exercise to really help with that caloric deficit that you're going to be in, to really help the muscle come out. The body's going to burn more fat by more muscle that it has. So therefore you gain more muscle, you're going to lose more fat. Gym's massive as well. That's going to be for another video though, so if you want to see that one, drop a like and a comment down below and I'll be sure to do something like that for you. But anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. They're my quick 4 or 5 tips to really help you in taking yourself from point A to point B through your fitness journey, and hopefully you get those rock chiseled abs. So if you like what you saw, hit the thumbs up button for me. punch the subscribe in the face. I really appreciate it. And any questions or you want to know or see anything else, drop it down below and I'll do my best to help you out. Anyway, I'll see you next time. 2018 is just about to end, so that usually means people are going to go out and feed their face and fill their belly full of piss. Let me just ask you a question. If in 2019 someone came to you with a business plan and a proposal that said to you, implement these strategies and systems, and over this new coming year, you're going to make more money, build your brand, increase your exposure, and all in all, have a successful 2019 with your business, would you do it? Of course you fucking would. It makes sense. Why would you not? So why are you not doing that for your health? Your health at the end of the day is the reason that your business will grow and flourish. If you're put in a coma tomorrow or you have a heart attack tomorrow, what happens to your business? Does it grow? Does it die? Does it do anything? Does it still exist? Because if you're not putting your health first, then your business potentially could mean absolutely jack shit. Because you are the reason your business is going to grow. You're the reason. Because you're the reason your business is going to flourish and get to that next level, because you are the driving force behind it. So why are you not focusing on yourself? You deserve to be healthy and happy. Not just happy with no health. Because if you're 60, 70 or 80 and you have no health at all, then what's the point of having the business? You probably can't buy new bones. You probably can't buy a new heart or new lungs. You may have all the money in the world, but if your health isn't there, then what's the point? So in 2019, I want you to focus more on having a health plan, a reasonable way to make your lifestyle around your health work with you and for you, rather than you trying to go out, start a new diet, go into the African jungle and get some forbidden fruit or some powder that is magically going to make you lose weight when it's not. It's a load of bullshit. All you need to do is implement the same system you use for your business into your health. Because it's exactly the same. You set out goals, you set out plans. For this week, I want to drink more water. The next week, I want to move more. I want to do some exercise. The next week, I want to focus on my internal state. I want to focus on being happier with where I am and just focus on my mind state. The week after that, you want to focus on relationships. And the week after that, you're going to make sure that you're focused on your water, you're focused on your exercise, and you're going to rebuttal everything. So now in that next month, you have a plan. Okay, this week is more water, that week's more exercise. And as you progress, you build them. And as you progress, you put them all together and you come to a point where you finally say, right, now I'm drinking more, I'm doing more exercise, I feel better, I'm eating less shit, I don't have as much sugar, I'm having more vegetables, I'm having more proteins, I'm having more stable sources of energy. And you know what? Holy shit, my business has been able to grow as well. But do you know why? Because when you wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, you're not lethargic and you're not ready to roll back over in bed. You're bouncing out of bed, not only because of your vision for your business, but because your body is now in line with where you want to go. Think of it as a wavelength. If your wavelength for your business is continually fluctuating and your health is just not, and it's down here, but you can bring your health up to fluctuate together, now all of a sudden you have a rhythm. And the rhythm is what is going to make you succeed. Because if your business is flourishing and your health is not, then your business won't flourish for long. So in 2019, look at it as a long-term game as you are your business. As you are your business. Figure out what you need to do on a weekly and a monthly basis to hit a certain target, because you've got 24 hours in a day, and let's just say hypothetically you work 18 or 19 hours of those days. You still have time within that to eat healthy, drink more water, do some exercise, and if you don't, then find the time, because if you don't find the time, time will find you. And when you're sitting in the chair looking at the wall saying, holy fuck, I can't walk because I'm too fat, or because I've got no energy, or my bones are falling apart, then you're going to look back and say, was those 20 hours working worth it? And the answer probably isn't going to be a yes. So do yourself a favor, let me this year help you and guide you throughout 2019 and give you more tips and more videos like this that I know are going to help you, because you're neglecting yourself and you deserve to not neglect yourself, because your health is the most important. The way you look, the way you feel, the way you move is going to influence everyone around you. And as soon as you influence more, your business is going to influence more. So in 2019, I'm going to help you do that. My name's Chris Isis, and stay tuned to these videos. So in 2019, my name's Chris Isis, and I'm going to bring you more videos just like this. Simple, easy tips and tricks you can use to make sure 2019 not only is the best for your health, but also for your business as well. Because together, you will have the life that you wish. So my name is Chris Isis, and in 2019 I'm going to give you more of these videos that you can use to grow, get better, increase your energy, focus, productivity, whatever it is you need internally, because you come first. When you are working, your business is working properly. Together, aligned, you'll be able to achieve your goals. I'll talk to you soon. So I get this question a lot. What should I be eating as a business? So I get this question a lot. What should I be eating as a business owner, or what should I be eating as an entrepreneur? Now my mission is to help entrepreneurs become healthier, because a lot of entrepreneurs, just like you and I, have neglected their health before, and it needs to change if we want to enjoy our wealth when we're older. So the idea is, in the morning, what I want you to focus on is eating more fats, healthy fats, as soon as you wake up. See, the point is that when we wake up, we're in hormonal displacency, meaning that we've just had an 8 to 10 hour fast, we're waking up, we're bringing ourselves back to the real world. Our body isn't sure what it's doing, so it needs the time to re-regulate itself, to bring itself back to homeostasis. Now all that means to you is, when you wake up, don't fill your body full of sugar, don't have a bunch of carbs, don't have a whole bunch of fruit. They are good and they have their place, but my opinion and the way that my clients get their amazing results is that they do not eat it first thing in the morning. We want to focus on having fats in the AM. That keeps our body fluctuation out of control. That means we are hormonally flat, and then our body now has the chance to get back to homeostasis, providing that you eat. If not, you can fast until lunchtime, and maybe you even do anyway just because you don't have a morning appetite. Either way, eat at lunchtime or eat a high fat-based meal. At lunch, if you're choosing to eat then to break a fast, or if just to be as is normally. And if you want to learn more about fasting, I'll link that up above. But if you're breaking your fast, or just you're having your second meal, I still want you to focus on protein, fats, and veg. The idea is there that we're still having a balanced diet at lunchtime, but we're not having our carbs then, because there's another video that I put out that was explaining 5 nutritional tips that you shouldn't have carbs at around lunchtime. See, when we have massive meals of carbs, see, the thing is, when we have massive meals of carbs, you're only going to crash afterwards, and we don't want that to happen. So what you need to do is focus on having carbs at the later half of the day, before bed or at dinner or something similar, so that we sleep better. But at lunchtime, we just want to have more fats, more protein, and more veg. And when I say fats, I mean healthy fats. That's things like your olive oils, coconut oils, macadamia oils. You know, you want to have more of avocados. You really just want to have more of those fats that are going to help you increase energy, increase productivity, perform at a higher level, because as an entrepreneur and a business owner, not only are you trying to work 18, 20-hour days, you also have a team that you need to manage as well. And to be able to manage them properly and effectively, you need to be performing at a level yourself, and your brain needs to be at a performance-based level. Now, brain is going to work better off fuel for fat. Now your brain works better when it's fueled by fat, not fueled by sugar. Sugar's only going to spike it and drop. Fat, it's going to spike, but it's also going to level it out without a massive crash. And that crash is what usually at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon you hit rock bottom and you just want to have a sleep and just have a nap. Now the reason for that is because the insulin levels are spiked, and therefore it needs to come back down, and that come down leaves you wanting to sleep. Now that is good, and you can do so, but that would be at the later half of the day. So if you were to have carbs in your diet, you want to have some sweet potato, maybe you want to have some rice, some brown rice, or whatever the reason might be, is that I would recommend having that at the later half of the day, because now you've gone the whole day without carbs, or very minimal. Now at the very end of the day, your body's insulin sensitive, meaning that your body now can do something with those carbs. If you were to have carbs first thing in the morning, you're spiking your insulin, your body doesn't know what to do, it freaks out, and it stores the insulin as fat, which is not what we want, obviously. So at the later half of the day, your body says, you know what, I know what to do with these now. I'm going to use them, or I'm going to place them around my body that's going to allow for energy later. I'm going to leave them in my muscles, I'm going to leave them in my liver. All these glycogen stores are going to increase. I know I'm probably talking Chinese to you, but all that means to you is that if you have carbohydrates at the later half of your day, so your large portion, it allows your body to relax and also sleep better. Now, sleep is something that's completely forgotten about by entrepreneurs. You know, we want to work for longer and we want to do more, and as great as that is, we can't do it if we don't have the proper sleep. Sleep's going to be for another video. I'll link that above here as well, but that will be something that I want you to check out later. But for now, I want you to focus on fattier meats and fattier meals in the morning. So that'll be more of your red meats, that'll be more of your, you're going to look at more of like egg-based things. So that's going to be more of, okay, so in the morning, I want you to focus on having more fat-based. That'll be your red meats, that'll be your egg meals. You're going to have that with some salad or just some fat-based avocado and things like that as well. If you do or don't fast at lunchtime, I still want you to have fats. Now, maybe not red meat or any other fattier type cuts of meat. Maybe you'll just have some chicken, or you just have some turkey, or you'll have something else, but you'll still have a lean cut of meat at lunchtime, but you'll have added fats. So now you'll have more avocados, maybe you'll have more olive oils, or something similar to that. Then at the later half of the day, at dinner time, maybe you've gone to the gym, or maybe you've done some exercise, or maybe you're just not into exercise and you've just wanted. So now at the later half of the day, now I want you to integrate your carbs. Now you're going to have more of your rice, more of your sweet potatoes or yams, or whatever it is that you like to enjoy, maybe even pasta. I don't want you to have massive meals, but I want you just to have enough. What's enough? Well, that's a great question because everyone's different. But I want you to focus on not overindulging on those carbs, because when you do, not only will your body store them as fat, but it also doesn't know what to do with it. But the benefit of having them at the later half of the day is that now you're insulin sensitive and now your body knows what to do with those carbs. That also leads to you sleeping better, as I mentioned before. So just focus on what I just mentioned. You'll be able to live a healthier life as an entrepreneur, and on the road you can take these meals in packaged containers, and even when you go out you'll be able to choose these meals at fast food restaurants without having all the crap that you can have with it as well. So on top of that, make sure you're drinking water, make sure you're crushing it. I want you to perform at a higher level. I want you to be healthier. You need to be healthier if you want to be around for your family, for your friends, and to enjoy your wealth, you need to have your health. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know down below in the comment section, and I'll see you on the next video. And that then goes on to my third tip, which is not having coffee super late. I know how tempting it is, you know, we have long days, and being entrepreneurs, we always have ideas going and things that we want to do. And we usually go to coffee as the reason that we go to do those things. But see, at the end of the day, if we're having coffee at a 6, 7, or even 8 o'clock at night period, we're going to get... I understand that as entrepreneurs we love coffee. You know, we want that extra kick or that pick-me-up at a later part of the day because we know we have a long night ahead. But see, the downside and the problem with that is that coffee usually has, depending on what you're doing, a 4 to 6 hour shelf life within our system. Now all that means to you is that if you have coffee at 6 or 7 o'clock at night, that what will happen is that coffee will stay in our system. So if we go to bed at 11 o'clock or midnight, that we won't actually have the sleep that we need to feel rested and to feel ready for the next day to attack it. We usually will have a broken sleep and we won't be able to benefit from the importance of having a good sleep. So what I would recommend is have your coffee heavier in the morning. If you're having just black, go for it. If you're having shots or espressos or whatever it is, lunchtime, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, however many you feel necessary, don't go overboard. But having X amount of good so have it around 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and understanding that coffee can be good, and it is good. It's not that I'm saying stay away from it. I'm just saying understanding having it at the end part of the day is not a good idea. See, if we have that at 7 or 8 o'clock at night, we won't have the sleep we need. So I would recommend having your last coffee maybe about 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, because that gives us enough time for a 5 or a 6 hour period to at least be ready by bed, to give us about a 4 or a 6 hour period, so that by bedtime, so say we go to bed at 11 or 10 or 12, that we're ready for it. Because if we're not ready, then we're only going to be awake and we're only going to have broken sleep, and we won't be able to do what we want to do the next day feeling the most energetic and the most astounding. We won't feel the way we want to feel the next day when we're feeling energetic and rested. So make sure to have your last coffee about 6, roughly So make sure to have your last coffee at about 5 or 6 o'clock at night. And that leads me on to my fourth point, which is cutting out less sugar. And that leads me on to my fourth point, which is cutting out the amount of sugar that we have. See, sugar isn't necessarily a bad thing, but what happens is most of us consume too much sugar. Sugar in food, sugar in drink, sugar in fruit. A lot of different things aren't benefiting us when we look at our diet. So to improve your nutritional lifestyle and have good nutritional balance, you don't want to have too much of the sugar. So a lot of people, will tend to have too much chocolate at night time. And chocolate has a hell of a lot of sugar in it. But it creates this vicious circle of what chocolate does. Let's say, for example, you're sitting watching TV at the end of the day, or sitting watching Netflix, or you're watching a certain program on YouTube, whatever it is, maybe you're watching this. When you're having your chocolate, you're feeling good at the time of the chocolate because it's an antidepressant. That's why chocolate sells so well. But see, if we're having just a basic milk chocolate and maybe not a dark chocolate, then what we're doing is we're having a sugar influx. When we finish our chocolate, we then go out and we look at ourselves and we just feel like crap, we feel depressed. And that's because during eating it, we're antidepressed. When we finish eating it, we now become depressed. And what happens is it starts this vicious circle of going back and eating more chocolate. So now what we do is we finish our chocolate, we look at ourselves, we feel like shit, we look like shit, so what do? We go back to eating more chocolate. And thus this vicious circle starts. So now all you're doing is you're eating chocolate, feeling like crap. Eating chocolate, feeling like crap. And it's just not a good place to be. So what I recommend that you do is still have your pieces of chocolate maybe once or twice a day at the end of the day, or maybe treat yourself once or twice a week. But understanding that having the chocolate on a regular basis isn't going to let you perform at the level that you want to perform. So having it once or twice a week is fine, having it every day in copious amounts, but having it once or twice a day in copious amounts is horrible, so stop doing that. But having it once or twice a day in copious amounts is a horrible idea to do, because not only are you going to feel tired and lethargic, you're going to feel like crap, and you're going to want to have more of it, and now all you're doing is adding fat to your body, and that's going to make it harder to lose, and therefore you're going to be more upset, more depressed, and that takes into your business life as well. But the fifth thing I want you to focus on, especially in this nutritional day and age, is understanding that large carb meals are not the way to go. See, if we're having a large carb meal, now the fifth thing I want you to understand on what not to do is to feed. Now the fifth thing I want you to understand not to do is by having a huge carb meal at lunchtime. See, when we're at the office or we're at work or we're somewhere else and we have a huge carb meal, what's happening is our insulin levels are spiked. Now insulin is our body's way of regulating blood glucose, which is, simply put, the level of sugar upraised in our body when we consume something. That could be from chocolates, that could be from pastas, to large starchy meals like sweet potato, potatoes, yams, anything like that. The idea is to not create a massive insulin spike when it's not necessary. So when you're at the gym and you've just done a hard workout, sure, that's a good way to spike your insulin and have a big blood glucose increase. But the idea is to not be like that when you don't need it. So what happens when you're at work, you're sitting at the office, and you have a massive spike of insulin? Maybe you've had some fast food, maybe you've had a massive pizza, you've had some pasta, or you've had something that's got a hell of a lot of carbs in it. Afterwards we crash. Our insulin's gone up, upregulates our glucose, and now our body's trying to fight and figure out what it wants to do with all of this sugar that it's just had come in. And afterwards, once it's done with that, it now crashes. And that's why when you have a massive carb meal at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, come 3 or 4 o'clock, you're crashing hard. You want to have a nap, you're tired, you're lethargic, you're cranky, you're moody, and you just want to go for a sleep. And that's because your body has literally worked so hard because of this insulin spike you've just had to try and regulate everything. So what do you do? Well, the best thing to do is, if you're going to have carbs, have smaller portions. Don't look at having massive portions, to have smaller portions. Your body's not going to upregulate as much insulin, and therefore you're not going to feel as lethargic and tired after. On the flip side of that, you don't even need to have that much carbs. On the flip side of that, you don't even need to have a huge regulation of carbs either. On the flip side of that, you don't even need to have that many carbs. See, at the end of the day, you could just have a basic protein, veg, and fat meal. That could be your basic protein, some veg, and maybe just some oils or avocados or healthy fats. that are going to give you a sustained energy for that portion of the day. If you want to have carbs, leave it to the end of the day before you go to bed. You'll fall into a deeper sleep and you'll sleep better, but that's for another video for another day. All I want you to understand is that not having large carb meals will make it beneficial for your energy, your focus, your productivity, and even your mood for the rest of the day. So take those 5 for the rest of the day. So take those 5 nutritional tips I've given you. As a recap, we're looking at more water, less dehydration. So as a recap, we're looking at more water. We want to have 2 to 3 bottles of water a day. We want to increase our water intake in the morning because that's when we're the most dehydrated. Drinking less coffee in the afternoon. Having less coffee in the morning before we have our morning water. So to recap, the 5 things I want you to focus on coming into this new year and moving forward. So the 5 things I want you to focus on as a recap coming into this new year and any new So 5 things I want you to focus on is why you should pay more attention to your health, to your wellness, and to how you are actually performing in this coming year. See, I get this question a lot. A lot of the time everyone's saying, Chris, why do I go on so much about health? Yes, I'm a massive advocate for health, but I also understand how much we as entrepreneurs do not focus on our health. We've all been there. So I want to explain to you why it really actually matters as to why your health is one of the most important assets you have. And if you don't have it, then it doesn't matter how much money you have. So the first thing I want to go over is the fact that yes, it's good to have money. And money is beautiful. I'm not saying it's not. I love money just as anyone else. But what you need to understand is that for you to enjoy your wealth, you have to have some form of health. See, if you would have a heart attack tomorrow, does it really matter how much money you actually have? No, it doesn't. Because you could have all the money in the world, but if your heart is about to die, it's about to shit itself, then it doesn't matter how much money you have, because you can't fix it. Sure, you might be able to buy another one, but then you might go on a waiting list. Sure, you might be able to go and get a fake one made, but how do you know that's actually going to work? You don't. Why not optimize the one you have right now and give it the body and give it the organism it needs to survive? Now, I know I'm going off on a bit of a tangent, but I just want you to understand that your health is your wealth. If you don't have your health, you can't enjoy your wealth, and that's my massive point that I want to make to you. Second thing I want you to understand is that being an entrepreneur, you put in long days. You put in 15, 18, 20-hour days. So being able to perform at an optimal level during those hours means that you need to be working at an optimal level internally as well. You know, you're going to get curveballs thrown at you, you're going to be thrown under the bus, you're going to be tested, and you're going to be pushed, and the chances are you're not going to like it. I know you won't. You know you won't. So when you're in a position to handle certain things better than others, don't you agree that you'd be able to perform at a better level when you're thinking clearly, when you're focused on the goal that you're trying to actually achieve? And that's what I want you to also understand. But that also leads into my third point, which is if you're an entrepreneur and you're a business owner, you're probably busy. You don't have the time. That's probably what you tell yourself, right? You don't have the time to make the food, or you don't have the time to put something aside. I want you to understand that's just bullshit. You have the time. You put 18 to 20 hours into your business, day in, day out. You're working 100-hour weeks. Do you not have time for half an hour each day or 20 hours? Do you not have time for half an hour each day or 20 minutes to set yourself some meals, or set yourself an amount of water to drink, or get someone to do that for you? Why not? Why don't you do that? You have the time. You're making the excuse because you don't think you have the time when we both know you do. Cut out some time that you are making your coffee. As you make your coffee, make some food. Simple. Get some of those ready-made meal plans that are already done for you. All you have to do is heat it up. There's so many options for you to do, or find someone like me that can help you be in a position where you don't need to spend long making meals and creating meal plans that suit your lifestyle. It's not hard, so stop making the excuse. If you're traveling a lot, that is your excuse to perform better. You're on the road. You can't expect to be eating shit because you will perform shit. If you're about to step on stage, right? If you're about to walk out in front of thousands of people, hundreds of people, or hell, even if you're stepping on stage in front of 50 people, it doesn't matter. The fact that you're going on stage means that people look to you as an influence. People want to learn from you, and people want to know more about what you know. Are you with me? So that means if you're on stage, then what you're wanting to do is you want to be that beacon, and you want to be that light and that energy that people want to be around. They want to either buy from you or learn from you or understand how you think and how you focus. So do you not owe it to your audience and to who people are following you for, that you owe it to them to be performing at your best? To be performing at a level where they say, holy shit, look at John, look at Kim, look at Steve, look at whoever it is, look at how he performs, I want to be like that. And how do you be like that, and how do you perform like that? You feed yourself the proper way. That's with proper proteins, proper fats, and proper carbs at the proper time to give yourself the edge. Now, if you've got a competitor, right? If you've got a competitor that's coming in that's trying to beat you. Now, if you have a competitor that's coming in that does a similar thing as what you do, sure, your message might resonate with a lot of people a lot better, but if you don't have the energy and the charisma or the aura or the attraction that people are drawn to, then why are they going to choose you over someone else? If the only difference you have is they have more energy than you, maybe they look a little bit better, they move a little bit better, they've just got a better facial image, then that's the person they're going to go with. I know it's harsh, but you know it's true. First impressions are our last impression. So if you're standing up on stage and no one's ever heard of you before, and you're sweating and you're panting and you're sweating everywhere profusely, you've got massive sweaty arms, I know it's not a good sight, but you've probably seen it before, and chances are you might have even felt it before. You get self-conscious, maybe you don't perform the way that you wanted to perform. That means you're not saying the things, you're not walking with the power and the integrity and the way that you would want to do it. So all that means is you need to get ready so that when you are on stage, everyone says, holy shit, look at this guy, he's an absolute beast. Look at this lady, she's an absolute queen. She's a killer, he's a killer. I want to learn from these people, I need to learn from these people. Because not only do they see how you are, and they want to learn from you, but now they understand that your content is incredible. So I want you to focus on your health moving forward, because your health is your wealth. So see how I always relate it back to that? Because if you're on stage, you're healthy, you're up there, you've got energy, you've got charisma, integrity, you feel amazing, you're confident. Now I'm not saying that larger people can't and aren't like this. All I'm saying is the majority aren't feeling the way they could or should if they're performing at an optimal level. And I know that because I work with people just like you every single day, and I see the same thing and the same story day in, day out. You go on stage, you're all tired, you're lethargic, maybe you've just come off a plane. I mean, look at Gary Vee, for example. You know, he'll fly from the States to Australia, or the States to New Zealand, then to Australia, like he just did recently, 23, 24 hours worth of flying. Do you think he could get on stage if he used to look the way that he used to look? Now, I don't know if you know what he used to look like, but he used to look like, and he called himself Chubby V. Now, Chubby V was Now, Chubby V, now known as Gary V, obviously, he used to be larger, he used to be overweight in terms of what he was trying to achieve. Now, a lot of you may not say he was fat or overweight, but if you look at him now to how he was, there's a huge difference in his physical look and how he is. Gary Vee wouldn't be doing that and wouldn't be investing in a coach if he didn't believe it had some form of repercussions. And it did. It allows him to perform better. It allows him to not be tired and lethargic and suffer from jet lag as much as what he would have. So I want you just to look at yourself and understand that moving forward, to grow, to get better, to influence your community, and to have that message that you're trying to have, if you have the energy and the aura and the integrity and the confidence and everything you need to put yourself in that position, then people will listen to you further, they'll listen to you longer, and they'll enjoy what you're saying and what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, your health is your wealth. And I'm going to keep saying that on each of these videos that you watch, because until you understand it, then you can't grow your wealth and your health to a point that you want it to be. So I appreciate you watching this, and I hope you learned something from this video. Focus on your health this new year, and each year moving forward, set small, achievable, micro goals so that moving forward, you have the ability to actually get them and you're not setting some ridiculous goal. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know down below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. So once you understand that every action has an equal and opposite reaction, then you can do the necessary steps to fix it. So that could just mean simply drinking more water, maybe drinking 2 or 3 extra cups or glasses, or having a couple of bottles of water each day just to increase your water intake, because that means you're dehydrated. See, dehydration is a massive issue that I've found with some of my clients, some of my friends, and especially family as well. It's something that a lot of people don't tend to do, yet we're made of 50 to 60% of water. I'm going to link a video up here that I'll send you to nutritional tips that I recommend as an entrepreneur that you follow, but water is a massive thing that prevents us from actually achieving goals. If water's in check, the next thing I would look at is the food that you're actually eating. Within that video I just linked to, you'll see 5 other things that I actually recommend that'll help you increase your energy, your focus, your productivity, and just overall allow you to perform at a higher level. See, everyone talk about increasing productivity, increasing focus, but do they go into how and why you actually need to? Because at the end of the day, your body is only going to put out what you're putting in. As I always say, health is wealth. Now that means that you have to be feeding yourself the proper veg, the proper protein, and the proper fats to allow you to perform at that higher level. There's a reason why Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, Tai Lopez, Tony Robbins, Ed Mylett, almost any of the high performers and anyone that's at the top of their game focus on what they eat and what they do when it comes to exercise, because it works. So if you're finding you're not as creative, or you're not as focused, or you're not as productive, or maybe you're just moody, then it means you need to go back to the drawing board, or get someone like me that knows exactly what you need to do to get yourself from where you are to where you want to be, because you deserve to be performing at a level, because you deserve to be performing at a level that is above the rest. Because for you to be at that level, you need to be doing something. So you need to be performing at a level that keeps you above the rest, not only from competition-wise, but for yourself as well. Because you need and you deserve to be there for your family, for your friends, but most importantly, for yourself. So understand that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And there's a reason. Food, focus, productivity, nutrition, water, mood, emotional support, doesn't matter what it is, everything has that reaction that you need to find out what it is. So focus on your water, focus on your food, understand that it just doesn't happen because it happens, or it just is. I hate when people say that, because it just is a bullshit excuse. You need to find the reason it just is and fix it. Because if you're an entrepreneur and you're a business owner, you do not have time for things to just be, or it just is. You need things to be the way that you want them to be, otherwise you are not in control. If you're not in control, then your business is not in control, and you potentially will lose money. We both know it. So focus on the things that are going to give you the outcome that you need and that you want. Drinking more water, maybe not having as many coffees, maybe not having as much sugar food. Either way, these things all contribute to what I mentioned before, the 5 key pillars and the 5 things you need to focus on. Because if you're in the office and someone is asking you a question and you're snapping and you're cracking the shits, they don't deserve to be around you. You don't deserve to speak to them that way, and you shouldn't speak to them that way, because everyone in your company is only trying to help you. And the faster and the quicker you understand that, the better your business will be, the more you'll make, and the faster you grow, but more importantly, the better you will be to be around. Think about being on stage. If someone asks you a question, or if someone wants to know something, if you're snappy, or if you're shitty, or you don't want to, these people are there coming to see you. They're interested in you and your product and your service and what you have to offer. The least you can do is not be snappy, not be shitty. Now, I know not a lot of people are, but I've seen some cases where they are. That's why I talk about Ed Mylett and Grant Cardone and Tony Robbins and Tai Lopez and Gary Vee, and the list goes on. But they understand to be at that high level, you have to understand your emotional support. You have to understand who you are as a person, and what you feed yourself is what you put out. Think of yourself as a well-oiled machine. If you are not well-oiled, then you're just going to be grinding hard, you're going to be getting aggressive, you're going to get stressed out, you're only going to get worse and worse, and over time, that is not going to be what you want. So to grow and to get better, you have to be focusing on yourself first. So focus on your productivity, your focus on your energy, focus on all of these things that food influence. Food influences more than just how you look. Not only your skin, your energy and your focus, and as I say many, many times, your health is your wealth. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you got something out of it. If you did, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking and what you want me to shoot a video of on next. Otherwise, smash that subscribe button for me, be a part of the team, become a healthy entrepreneur, and I'll see you on the next video. Today I want to talk to you about why your family needs you to be fit and healthy. Now this one's something that strikes close to me because growing up, my old man and my mum, they weren't the healthiest. You know, I want the best for them and I'm going to do whatever I can to give them everything, as every kid would want to do for their parents. But one thing I can't, and I've tried, to give to them is their health. If they're not willing to accept it, I can't give it to them. I just want you to understand that your family needs you to be fit and healthy. Sure, they might want it, but they need it. Now let me just explain why. See, growing up, my old man was always in a position where he was working late, he was overdoing himself, he was working long hours, long nights. He was used to work at an airplane factory where they used to make the airplanes, and he'd be an engineer, fixing them, helping their production, making sure there was no problems with them. But see, the problem was, the longer hours he worked, the more his body was falling apart. Now until he was about 35 or 40, he didn't actually see any major problems. You know, he put on a little bit of weight and he didn't really have any major issues, but as soon as he hit 40, he started having major health problems. He had a knee reconstruction because he fell over one day and completely shattered his knee. Turns out because he didn't have enough muscle around his knee, it wasn't able to hold its shape properly, so therefore it shattered. He started having some health problems, he got sick all the time, and he just wasn't doing well. Now my old man is a strong wog, a strong Greek that never gave up. And he learned that from his father and his father before him. But see, what I want you to understand is that I needed my dad to be healthy. I wanted him to be healthy, but I needed him to be healthy. The times where I needed someone to go outside and teach me how to do something, or when I needed to spend time with him to grow up and be the man that I'm becoming today and that I am today, I needed to learn from someone, and I couldn't learn it from him. Now, not only was he working long hours, but he was also in a position where he wasn't able to do anything with me that a normal father would do. Now, I'm not saying this because I want you to feel sorry for me. I love my dad more than anything. But at the same time, I wish he was there for me in times where he wasn't. Now, he looks back on this and obviously he wishes that he didn't do what he did do. Meaning that he wishes that he was healthier and that he was stronger and he's able to do things with me when I was a kid. Now that I'm older, I understand that he couldn't understand why, but I want you to understand now at this turning point, doesn't matter what age you were at, you have the chance to be that health beacon and that healthy person, father, grandfather, brother, son, it doesn't matter who or what you are, you have that chance because your family needs you to be healthy. Doesn't matter how much wealth you have, because your wealth is nothing without your health. Because if you're walking down the beach one day and you just can't breathe, you can't just smell that smell. Because if you're just walking down the beach one day, you just can't even take a deep breath of fresh air, of that fresh sand, of that fresh salt water. If you just can't do that because it feels like someone's strangling you, then are you actually healthy? Or if you can't kick the ball with someone, if you can't throw a ball, if you can't play cricket or baseball, or if you can't kick a footy, if you can't play soccer, if you can't do anything with your kids, are you really that figure that they want you to be? Because if you have money, it doesn't matter because you can't go out there and you can't do with them all they want from you, which is just to enjoy their time with you. See, I wear this lion ring because it reminds me to be a fucking lion. It reminds me that every day I'm hungry and I'm aggressive, but at the same time, I have a family to support. At the same time, I have people around me that I need to be there for, not only financially, but emotionally, spiritually, and healthily as well. Because at the end of the day, I want to be there for my kids, I want to be there for my grandkids, and I'm sure you do as well. Because you know if you make $1 million, $10 million, $100 million, $1 billion, or $1 trillion, your family is what matters. At the end of the day, you are only as wealthy as you are healthy. And I know I say it a lot, but it's because I believe it wholeheartedly. As an entrepreneur, you put your health last. Therefore, if you put your health last, Doesn't matter how many times you tell yourself you're not, you're also putting your family last. You may do it for your family, but at the end of the day, you're working those long hours, you're leaving home early, you're getting home late, you're not spending time with your loved ones because you're trying to make the money. But at the end of the day, the family doesn't care about the money. If you're dead, it doesn't matter. So stop focusing on how much money you make. Make the money. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying money is beautiful and it's an amazing tool, but get your health lined up first. Understand that your health is only going to result in equal to, if not greater, amounts of wealth. Because the healthier you are, the longer you can work. But that also means when you get home from work, you'll be able to run with the kids, you'll be able to go down to the beach, walk with your partner, walk with your grandparents. It doesn't matter what the reason is. Your health is the reason that you're going to be able to enjoy your wealth. So I want you to take something from this video. I want you to understand that you are here for a reason. Yes, to make money, and yes, to make the most of your life. But how can you make the most of your life if you're in a wheelchair, or if you're sick, or if you're not performing at a way that you need to perform for your family and for your loved ones? So I just want you to understand. No matter where you are at life, you can always change it, and you can always get the help you need to get better, to grow, and to become a fucking lion. So be that lion or lioness, because I know you can, you deserve to be, and I want you to be. Your health is your wealth. Understand it, and everything else will be easier. Emotionally, spiritually, physically, and financially. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you actually learned something from it, because this is something dear to my heart. If my old man and my mum were healthier, I would be in a better position with them now, and we would be able to travel and have more fun together. But unfortunately, I can't, and that's something I have to live with. And I don't want you as a kid, I don't want you as a son or a daughter, and I don't want you as a father to have to go through that. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, drop them down below, and I'll see you on the next video.